Hey, welcome to the Living the Next Chapter. This is Dave, a little bonus episode jumping on to talk about one of the audiobooks that I have fallen in love with, and I wanted to share with you. Links in the show notes on every single episode of the Living the Next Chapter podcast takes you to my new favorite audiobook. Have you tried audiobooks yet? It's like a podcast with whipped cream. Yeah. Love audiobooks. And my audiobook suggestion is Surrender. It is written by Bono from U2. And it is outstanding. Okay, I said it. Outstanding. It is a great audiobook. I'm a big early U2 fan. I love the early stuff. That's my favorite. All the way up into Joshua Tree and oh gosh. And yeah, I'm going to talk about more about it. Let's jump into this. It's the audiobook from Bono called Surrender. Check the show notes. This is the best gift idea ever for a musician or U2 fan out there. Give this as a gift. Do it. Please, just do it. Here we go. Living the Next Chapter. I'm excited. Can you tell? Yeah. Okay, here we go. So if you're a fan of U2, you're a fan of guitar playing, you're a fan of music, this audiobook is outstanding. It's like 40 chapters long, and 40 is one of U2 songs from back in the day. But I love this book because what's woven in the audiobook that you don't get in the printed copy is the music. And there are little remixes and reworkings of U2 songs that are used as like chapter separators and transitions. You hear the stories in the early chapters of the book of how a certain song was written and what was happening at that time and where their heads were at and the instruments that were used. And there's so much depth, and it's amazing to listen to Bono go through. And we even hear how Bono got his name as a child and who named him Bono. We hear about all of the stories about how the band was created, how it started. And there's so much amazing stuff in this book. I listened to it all. It was like, 14 hours roughly, I think, for this book. And I listened to the whole thing over a couple of nights at work. Fell in love with it. And I own it now through my Audible link in the show notes. You can have it as well. That's an affiliate link, so I'll make a small amount of money if you purchase the book through me. Thank you. Appreciate that. But the audio version of this book, for me, as a non-reader, I really love the audio version, the option of listening, because then I can listen and pause it and rewind it. And, my mind tends to wander when I read a printed copy of a book. So listening to the audio version suits me the best. So that's kind of how I consume books. And I really love this. So at the beginning, near the beginning of the book, Bono kind of shares a little bit about how this all started for U2 and how the drummer, Larry, posted a notice at the school bulletin board looking for a band. And here's a little clip from the book to kind of wet your whistle and entice you to get this book and give this as a gift. But here goes a little bit from the book, just to give you a taste.
How casually our destiny arrives. Quite a few wannabes had responded to Larry Mullen's invitation on the school notice board, and now, class is out for the day, we were all packed in the oven that was Larry's kitchen. How do we fit all the drums, the amps, and the apprentice rock stars into such a small room? Guitar and bass might have been squealing for attention with their amplifiers and distortion pedals, but it was the drums that filled both physical and musical space. It was as if no one was in tune but Larry, who appeared quite at home around all this metallic chaos. Well, he was at home. It was his kitchen.
So it's just a great audio experience listening to this audiobook. And I couldn't recommend this more. If you have anyone in your home that's a musician, a lover of music, a U2 fan, you really get a good sense of how this band started so humbly back in high school, and how in over 40 years, these guys have stuck it out together. They have played all over. Later in the book, we get a little bit more into Bono's desire to serve the world and the community and help people who needed help. There's a lot of stuff in there about politics and all of that. They even talk about what happened around that whole Apple thing where U2's album was included and sent out to every Apple user, whether you wanted it or not. And pretty interesting to hear this. And without spoiling all of it, I'll just tell you that it was actually Bono's idea, and it failed. And they had to kind of rethink and reevaluate after that. But we hear about how many times that the band almost ended, and for what reason, the struggles that they had. To know that there was times where the band was so close to ending it all because of either a belief or a struggle or something. But they always seem to get back together and continue. My favorite U2 album or music era, I would say, would be the Joshua Tree, and all the live stuff they did around that. I also love Unforgettable Fire, and all the way back to the beginning of U2. That's kind of where I started. And for me as a guitar player, I learned a lot of U2 songs in my day, and trying to deconstruct this band. And what I love is they all were, except for Larry on drums, they all were basically learning how to play their instruments. And that's what made them unique, is they didn't know what they were doing. Yet they had something. And you can't argue with their success. So head into the show notes. There's a link right there that will take you to Amazon and the Audible link. You can also buy the paper book, which is great. If you love that, that's fine. You're just going to miss out on some of the clips you heard already, but you'll miss out on the musical aspects that are included in with the audio version, and make a great gift this year to somebody in your home, somebody in your life, and it's something they can listen to over and over and over again. So again, links in the show notes, and I would really encourage you to go check it out. Thank you for being part of Living the Next Chapter. We are going to be having the rest of our episodes releasing into the end of December. We're going to try to get caught up with everything. We've really tried to up everything we can to get our episodes as fast as possible. Head over to YouTube. You can hear and experience the most recent episodes of our podcast. We replace the audio only versions on YouTube with the actual video version of the interview as well. And we got some great stuff coming up in the future for Living the Next Chapter. Maybe some live videos on YouTube. Some other great stuff. We're going to have amazing things. So if you're an author, if you know an author, reach out to us, let us know. And if you go to our website, livingthenextchapter.com, and there's a little microphone icon, send us a message, record your voice, and tell us what episode really, really helped you this year or inspired you. And let's shout out these great authors that have come on this year and thank them together. So you do that for me, and I will share your message with our authors and with our guests. And thank you for being part of Living the Next Chapter for this entire year. We're so happy and so grateful for everyone that's contributed, listened, been a guest, liked, shared, commented, followed, left us a review, whatever you have done for us. Thank you. And I realize as a podcast host, you being here is amazing. You are paying with your attention for this podcast. And I value that so much. Head over to the podcast website, head over to livingthenextchapter.com and check out this Audible book from U2, from Bono, Surrender. And again, it'll make a great gift. I'm just telling you. And I would really love to see you in 2023. Thank you for being part of Living the Next Chapter. Onward and upward. Thank you. Cheers. Well, the podcast is over. Thank you for being a part of this episode. If this is your very first episode, welcome to Living the Next Chapter. You can go back in our catalog. You can see some of the past episodes. But if you want to get a sneak peek of what's coming, you want to jump the line? I got something for you. Go to our YouTube channel. Again, links are in the show notes and on our website, livingthenextchapter.com, and you can go to our YouTube channel and get the most recent episode way before everybody else. So we're putting this at the end of the podcast because we don't want to tell everyone. We don't want to have a stampede, But we're having some great conversations over on our YouTube channel. You're invited. You've been here this far. You're the one listening. You are invited to our YouTube channel. Go over there and you can see the most up-to-date episodes in real time. Meet you over there. Thanks for listening. Cheers.
Hey, are you still there? It's incredible that we're here.